Marge says, people who are the sickest, those are the ones I get the most worms out of. Notice she didn't even name a disease. She just said people who are the sickest. In other words, the people who are the sickest, just look at them. They're the ones with the most parasites. Like a lady with shingles. She was about 70 years old. She had terrible shingles, which is a very bad skin condition, all over her face. Her whole face on one side and her eye and her hair were all weeping water. We got an hour and a half of solid worms out of the colonic tube, and I filled her up only once. The worms were solid, about 7 different kinds, all intermingled. Every worm you could think of came through that colon tube. No pulp, no water, just worms. Now that's not a normal colonic. But it says here, it just flowed through solid. After the worms were all out, the shingles went away completely. What was the cause of the shingles? Worms. See, I was trying to be nice. I called them parasites. She just calls them worms. And I'm just going to skip around a little bit here because she really makes some good points. She says, would a person feel better if they had no worms in them? Marge says, that's right. After getting these filthy things out of me, I feel vibrant and healthy and have more energy, and I'm smiling all the time. Question, can worms affect people's personality? Of course, if you have a liver full of worms, you feel sick. You can't put your finger on why, but if you kill them, you're going to feel better. It's just that simple. Question, can you see the waste of taking vitamins and minerals without deworming first? You know, we deworm our cats and dogs, won't even deworm us and our children. It's a shame. But at any rate, Marge says the worms will eat them. They eat the nutrients first. Question, tell me about the tapeworm. The tapeworm can weigh up to 7 pounds. Now, my son didn't even weigh 7 pounds at birth. This is pretty big. It says it eats so much of your food and your nutrients, it makes you anemic. They make people so sick I can't tell you. The head usually lives in the stomach waiting for your food, and they're vicious. They eat a lot. So I guess when you're craving for food and you say you're hungry and you just eaten, maybe it's the parasites who've eaten it. They eat a lot and they're scavengers. Even when you're asleep, they're eating. Every other person has a tapeworm. You can quote me on it. Every other person. So she goes on here to talk about how people with tapeworms and different type of parasites in them, they have all kinds of odors. She said when they come in, they have a lot of body odors, and a lot of us think it's normal to smell. It's not normal to smell. I have a challenge for you. If you think you don't need to clean your colon, get up every day and take your shower as usual, but don't wear any deodorant for 3 days. Your friends will let you know whether you need to cleanse or not. Next, she asks a question. She says, how do worms cause health problems? Marge says, you already know they eat your nutrients, but these filthy excretions are very toxic and may cause many health problems by spreading throughout your body. Every organ can be affected. Question, you say worms and parasites live in the layer of the colon? Yes, and we just saw a picture of that. Now here she's telling you that these parasites will eat your food, and when you feel that gas, that belching, that burping, and that bloating, that's actually the parasites that have eaten your food, release their waste in your system, and that's what you're experiencing. So she says, you mentioned that you see a lot of worms. She says, oh yes. One girl lost 2 gallons of them, and she was very tiny to begin with, but she was constipated. We could never get a steady flow. It was worms that prevented her. Now see, it really gets me when I see people who are slim and they say, oh, that cleanse, no, I'm afraid to do it. I might lose weight. I said, you know what? You're going to lose waste. The reason why you probably can't gain any weight is because the parasites are eating up all your food. In a country, they used to say that. Give that child some turpentine and sugar. They're full of worms. But see, we don't think about that anymore. Question, how safe is it to eat pork today? A doctor in Chicago put a piece of raw pork tissue under a microscope and it was loaded with living worms. Everything was moving and all the samples were the same. Then he cut the pork, charred it on the grill, made it into charcoal, put it back under the microscope, and guess what? The parasites are still moving. So I think that that tells you about pork. I just wanted to share that with you. The last one I just want to tell you about briefly is a woman who had lupus. She went on a program to cleanse. She lost 58 pounds. 28 pounds of that waste was worms. And once she did that, then the lupus started to go away. So this nurse who put her on the program said she started researching and found out Crohn's disease, anemia, fibromyalgia, sarcoidosis, lupus, MS, cancer, and epilepsy all have the underlying causes of parasites. So guess who's coming to dinner Parasites are coming to dinner. Do yourself a favor and clean your colon. You give yourself the gift of health. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Like I said, people always talk about a mind's a terrible thing to waste. A body is a terrible thing to waste. Clean your colon, kill the parasites. I guarantee you, you'll avoid all the future problems, get rid of the past problems, and feel better today. So give me a call. Until next time, be good to your body, and your body will be good to you.